All right, so today I'm going to do a 6 by 8 inch alla prima oil painting seascape. All right, so I've had a lot of requests to do some real-time painting, so I'm going to try to include that in this video. So it's going to be a little longer than usual. I'll try narrating and keeping it interesting if possible. But anyway, let's get started. Okay, so as usual, I am sketching in burnt sienna. I'm just mapping out the big shapes, no detail. I've just thinned the burnt sienna with a little bit of odorless mineral spirits, and I'm going to come in with darks here. And I'm using, what am I using? I'm using a bristle brush here. It's a number 8, I think, kind of worn out. It's not in great condition. But the idea is I'm just thinning the paint with a little bit of mineral spirits and approximating colors, so that I can just get the, approximate values, approximate colors. And then the idea is I'm going to come in afterwards with a number 4 synthetic flat. And I'm going to do the rest of the painting with that brush. But for now, just scrubbing in approximate colors. I'm going to start reinforcing some darks, and I'm going to try to use very simple brushwork. That's something I've been experimenting with lately, just trying to put one stroke down and leave it. If I need to, make adjustments, I can. In other words, if I need to soften edges and that sort of thing, I certainly can come back and do that afterwards. But initially, I just want to kind of lay in the paint with as much purpose as possible. I'm going to roll back, and I'm squinting at this to make sure, I'm just looking for big shapes. I'm not looking for detail at all. And I'm also not going to try to get it exactly, I'm not trying to get the pattern exactly like the photograph. I'm just going for, I want it to be similar. I want to capture the feel, but I don't want to, I don't want it to be exact. If I'm trying to be exact, then my painting is going to feel too tight and careful. And it's really not important that I get things exact anyway. Again, I'm just trying to capture the feeling of this scene. So I always gray down my colors by adding complements. That's not blue enough. So using the brush strokes in a downward fashion here can kind of define these rocks. Now there's a little, I don't know if you guys see it, but right in front of this wave here, there's there's some warm reflections, because the white water will reflect and light up the water right below the wave. And I'm going to put a wave out here too, just because that area seems a little bit too empty. So I'm going to experiment with that. I'll put a smaller wave. I'm going to keep the waves in the background. I'm going to keep them a little bit less defined. But also remember there's that reflection. The water between the waves typically reflects the sky. And so it's going to be lighter. It's going to be especially out further, the further you go out. So I'm going to add some, kind of lighten this up with some simple, strong brushwork, if possible. And maybe a little bit greener in here. There's definitely little areas of sort of phthalo-ish or viridian. Let me try that again. I'm going to try a couple different things and see what works best. The base of the wave is darker, at least in here. Okay, so the shape of this wave is kind of awkward and it's a little bit too big. So I'm going to change that. Make it a little bit irregular in shape, smaller, and maybe add a little bit of dark under here. Okay, so I took the painting into the other room and a couple things jumped out at me. One, I don't like how the top of this wave goes just like right along the top of this rock. So I thought maybe I'll just experiment, you know, with that, raise up the rock a little bit. I think I like that better. Now the other thing is kind of on the fence about this whitewater here. I like it right in here because this is an area of interest, but I think that this draws too much, it creates too much chaos or energy down here, so I might want to change that. Also too, this color is very similar to the color of the rocks. So I might add some, let's experiment with that area, see if we can fix it. Add some green in there, and just maybe some simple strokes of, you know, and maybe darken it a little bit too. Also too, I'm not crazy about the bottom of that rock being a straight line. I don't like that. I think that's better. I think it's better. No, I don't like it. It needs more red, for sure. Be nice to get some of the whitewater. I mean, that'd be kind of fussy for a panel this size, but to get some of the whitewater into this shadow. See how the white's right there? If I add, this is a delicate deal here. If I get a little bit of light in there, that's going to suggest, you know, then you can see into the shadow, which that's something that's always important. On a painting that's this small, I usually won't bother with little details like that, but since you guys are watching, it's kind of an opportunity to show how, you know, you'd have something light go into the shadow and how that creates a really authentic feeling of, you know, that there's a shadow there. Alright, I like that better because it's simpler. I think I like it better. Also, how it's lighter up here, and then as it goes down, it's not, you know, kind of fades off. So it's, again, it's still bringing the focus into this area here. And, you know, like I like to keep the areas around the edges, like here, sort of just loosely suggested. Then there's more, yeah, even this whole bottom area is like loosely suggested, so the eye passes over into the main area of the scene. All right, so as usual, I'm going for a convincing feeling of light. This area is still reading a lot lighter on camera than it is in real life. It is lighter, definitely, but there is some reflection, so you just have to take my word for it. But I'm happy with the water, especially like the fact that the waves are kind of irregular in shape. And then, good illumination in there, and the feeling of, that sort of blue-green feeling in the water. Also, too, you can see in the troughs between the waves, that blue that, the cerulean with white, the reflected sky color, I think really works in there as well. I like some of these hints of purple out in the distance. And yeah, I think the focus is good. Again, having this loose in the foreground, the eye just kind of passes right into this area here. And I do like these bits of blue, the varieties of blue in the shadows here. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this real-time demo. Let me know what you think in the comments. As usual, a big shout out of thanks to my Patreon supporters. It's the Patreon support that keeps me making these videos. There's a Patreon link down below. Thanks for hanging out. Stay creative, and I'll see you guys in the next video.